Hello everyone, this is AJ Aquarist. Welcome to my vlog. I'm going to be doing a series of videos on shrimp keeping, especially the Caridina varieties. A lot of people have been asking me about keeping Caridina shrimps, the products that I use, and how I grow them into a colony. I'm a hobbyist from India, and I'll be sharing all the products that I've been using so far. And these videos are also to encourage a lot of Indian shrimp keepers to keep the Caridina varieties as well. In today's video, we're going to be looking at crystal red shrimps. So let's jump into it. Crystal red shrimps have been around for more than a decade now. And it is one of the most sought after shrimp in the shrimp keeping hobby due to the vibrant colors. Even now, there's a high demand for a high grade crystal red shrimp. These shrimps are graded based on the white and red patterns. I will be discussing more on these patterns in the videos to come. In this video, I'm going to be covering major topics that you will need to get started with Caridina shrimp keeping. All shrimps are basically scavengers. They usually feed on leftover things. In your aquarium, they will feed on dead and decaying leaves. By doing so, they are taking care of the plants as well. These shrimps are sensitive and they require a specific water parameter for them to thrive. The lifespan of the shrimps are about 2 years. And when the female shrimp is buried, it takes about 25 to 30 days for the eggs to hatch. And the female shrimp constantly fans her eggs to keep them oxygenated and clean. Crystal red shrimps are usually 2 millimeters in size when they are born. They are really very tiny. And when they grow up to a maximum size of 1.2 to 1.5 inches. Both the males and the females are equally colorful in the Caridina varieties. And it is hard to find out the difference between male and a female until they reach their adult size. The females usually have a curved abdomen and the males usually have a flatter abdomen. That's one of the major traits and ways to find out if they are a male or a female. I would recommend you all to start with a tank of 10 gallon capacity. That should be good enough to start with, and you all can house a couple hundred shrimps easily. Once the tank is set, the next most important thing is a buffering substrate. I've used Amazonia, Tropica, and Aquascaping Soil by Denley, and all three soils buffer the pH from around 6 to 7. And the reason this is important is because all Caridina shrimps require a more acidic water, and these substrates help in buffering the pH, and all these substrates are available in India. And for filtration, I would recommend you all to use a sponge filter. They act as a mechanical and a biological filter. They store millions of bacteria which help in converting the ammonia into nitrite and nitrate. This nitrate can be absorbed by plants or be removed during water changes. If you're using other filtration like the canisters or a hang-on back filter, I would insist you all to cover the intake of the filters with a sponge, since the baby shrimps can get sucked into them. Shrimps usually prefer a low flow water. Add in some moss tied to rocks or driftwood, which will give a lot of surface area for the shrimps to graze on. And it also provides hiding spaces for the young ones. They also increase the oxygen level in the water and also remove the smaller traces of nitrates. I use reverse osmosis water in all my shrimp tanks. The benefits of using reverse osmosis water are they are free of all heavy metals and other chemical substances which can harm your shrimps. And since RO water doesn't contain any minerals, it is important to remineralize your water. I use B Shrimp Minerals and Shrimp King Minerals. I will leave the link to these products in the description below so y'all can get your hands on them. The TDS that I maintain these shrimps are from 100 to 120 ppm, a GH of 4 to 6 and a KH of 0 to 2. After adding water, y'all should cycle the tank for at least 4 weeks. This helps the nitrogen cycle to get fully completed, and y'all can know it when the nitrate, ammonia and nitrite is 0. Y'all can also speed up the process by adding nitrification bacterial solutions. Even though these shrimps can do a pretty good job at around 150 TDS, I usually keep them at 120 maximum. And when they cross that limit, I do a water change. I also carry out my weekly water changes of 10 to 15%, which actually helps in reducing the nitrate in the water. And the temperature which they prefer are about 21 to 25 degrees Celsius. I stay in Bangalore and the winter are usually around 18 degrees Celsius and the summer reaches up to 35 degrees Celsius. Even though the room temperature during winters are around 22 degrees, these shrimps have no problem with it. And during summer, when the temperature rises above 25 degrees Celsius, these shrimps do not do well. They feel uncomfortable and they usually hang out near the surface of the water. So it is important to keep a check on the temperature. Y'all can get a chiller or keep the room air conditioned. I feed my shrimps with a variety of food. I use Shrimp King's shrimp line of food, Terra and Glass Cartons Bacteria. During the weekdays I feed Shrimp King and Terra's product, and over the weekend I use Bacteria, which increases biofilm and other good bacteria in the water, and also increases the survival rate of the baby shrimps. Feed them only as much as they can eat for a couple of hours. Remove all the uneaten food since they can contaminate your water. You can use other natural food sources like almond leaves, alder cones, and spinach leaves. Even they contain a good amount of minerals which is required for the shrimps. There are no specific requirements for the light as such. You can use any light. I usually leave the lights on for about 6 hours, which actually promotes algae growth, and they are another natural food source for the shrimps. Just be cautious that when the lights are left on for longer duration, it can actually increase your water temperature. So have a check on your temperature as well. Finally, let's discuss about few essentials that you all will need to start keeping shrimps. A TDS meter is very important. It is used to constantly check the TDS of the aquarium water. It is also used to check the TDS while you are doing water changes. Most of the TDS meter comes with a thermometer. If a TDS meter doesn't have a thermometer built in, I would recommend you all to get your second product, that's a thermometer. It is used to check your water temperature. Finally, a freshwater test kit. If you are getting into the shrimp hobby, then I would recommend y'all to invest in a test kit. A freshwater test kit contains pH, GH, KH, ammonia nitrite and nitrate tests. With this, y'all can do a weekly check on all these parameters to know how your water performs over the week. And by doing so, y'all will also know when it is time for a water change. And if this pattern continues, y'all know when exactly y'all have to do a water change. I use API's test kit, and there is another good company as well called JBL. Y'all can try both of them. In the upcoming videos, I'll be talking in depth on shrimp keeping, water parameters, breeding, and grading shrimps, and a lot more to come. So stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that y'all are notified when my next video comes out. If y'all have any queries, leave a comment below and I will reply to your comments. I will also try to link all the products that I've used and is available locally in India so that y'all can get your hands on them as well. Keep shrimping. Catch you in the next one.